Hey guys, Christina Blackfeather here, and I've just been out picking cucumbers. My tomatoes, some of them are almost ready. I have a whole bunch of tomatoes. I just picked and ate some of the raspberries. Yeah, it should be harvest time at some point here. Next year I got to put in more tomato and more cucumber plants, and going to try and add another bed. Filming the bumblebees here. I was just picking right next to them and they don't seem to care. In fact, I've been going to where I had already picked flowers and we're getting picked berries and getting the sweet leftovers off of it. That would freak my husband out, but it doesn't bother me too much. I'm trying to track the one bumbler for you. There he is. I've been getting one of the people a few blocks away has got beehives too, so I've been getting their honeybees, which is kind of fun. And yeah, part of the yard is a mess, but yeah, it's gearing down to fall here. I have to come in and weed, but I'm trying to behave with my hands the way they are. So the asparagus is hiding in here and doing really well. But yeah, I had gone to the doctor, the rheumatoid doctor, and they're running a bunch of tests. There's like 4 different types of arthritis that she thinks it could be. One is not very well known, and I can't remember. It began with an S, and just kind of this weird name. And I'm still going to be going to a dermatologist because they want to determine. Right now, this hand is good. Let's see if we can focus it. Yeah, if you can call that good. It still hurts. It'll heal up for a bit, and then they'll start scaling up again. So, as you can see, my whole hand is involved on this side, and so just gonna make sure it's not psoriasis, because if it is, then it will help determine what arthritis I have in my joints that's bugging me. Here's one of our tomato plants there. So, weight progress, I haven't been making any. I am so fatigued most of the time. And the lab test for my thyroid was really, really screwed up. So they upped my thyroid medication. And so I'm waiting to see a result from that. It just ends up when it gets that low, all I can do is sleep and eat pretty much. And so I'm back at least keeping my calories down, and I'm not as ravenously hungry as I was a few weeks ago, and I'm pretty sure that part of that was the thyroid being messed up. So that's where I sit there. So we just wait and see. I just woke up and I have veggies to prep for the freezer again, and then work out and get ready for work. And I don't have a day off till Friday, so I'll be working like 13 days in a row, 12 or 13 in a row. So, and then Friday and Saturday is Twin Cities Pagan Pride. I'll be face painting all day on Saturday. It doesn't run Friday, but Friday and Saturday I have off. And that's because of Pagan Pride. And then after that, I'm back on my regular schedule again, I think. No, I think I'll be working 3 12-hour shifts in a row, and then I have the following weekend. No, I don't. I don't have the following weekend off. My schedule's confusing me. 2 weeks after Pagan Pride, we're going to the Minnesota Renaissance Festival. There we go. So it'll be another full 2 days off in a row I have. So it's a tight schedule. Other than that, I thought I would mention it. I saw Charlie Gould's analysis of Fat-topia, and I watched Fat-topia last week. And I thought it was really good. I really, really liked it. I've helped Dare Meister Entertainment, who was talked about in Fat-topia as being somebody who's, they like to try and say he's anti-fat. He's actually anti-fat acceptance movement, and he is heavy himself. But I've done stuff for his channel before, and the stuff he does is about the crazy stuff in the fat acceptance movement. It's, and he's of the mindset too that, you don't go and pick on people because of their weight, especially if they've got medical issues or something. You don't know what story has brought them to that point. But these ones that are trying to say that it's healthy and you can be healthy at every size and all of that stuff, that's what he's kind of rallying against. And I felt that the movie covered that whole thing very well. It was kind of telltale that a lot of people wouldn't talk to them because they're promoting that they're healthy, and some of them morbidly obese, and they're not. There had to be a telling from the anti-fat acceptance people's side, and I thought it was very well told. From a fat person's perspective, I didn't see anything harmful in it. I didn't see anything wrong in it at all, and I thought it was just very politely and very well done. And no, I don't agree with the fat acceptance movement. I mean, yeah, it hurts when people are, being absolutely nasty, and it's because of your weight, and it's hard when it's something that that you can't control. And, people are mean regardless, and it doesn't matter what. Even when they mentioned some of the girls that talked about their high school experience, how they were always told they were fat because they were. I was told I was fat, and I was 5 foot and 105 to 110 pounds. I actually looked anorexic, and because I was working the farm all the time, and I still was told I was fat. I mean, that's what kids do. It's not excusing high school kids or anything like that for that behavior, but, they pick on skinny people just as much as they pick on people who are overweight. So for anyone who has had that experience in high school, it's not just because you were fat. It's because the other people were assholes. That's basically it. You can't internalize what they said to you. I mean, you wouldn't believe the mean stuff I was called. You would not believe some of the stuff that was done to me. I had kids try to set me on fire in the stairwell in middle school because of my religion, and then I was Catholic. Or, at home, but Catholic. I didn't go to church, but this was some of the kids from the Baptists. So yeah, fundamental independent Baptist kids, I should say. There's different Baptist strains too. So, I mean, you can't base the rest of your life on how you were treated in school. You have to just move on and get past that. And some of these women had not gotten past that. They were still stuck on it. And, if I'd have been still stuck on everything that happened to me at school and then at home, I would be absolutely sitting in a cardboard box somewhere on a street corner, or who knows what, or I probably would have done myself in a long time ago. That's how bad it was. And like I said, I got it at home too. So some of these women, it'd take a step in my shoes back then and then try to tell me, how bad it is. And I don't deny their experiences, but, there was a point I was saying, as the one woman was talking on the documentary, I said, just grow up. And I know those are harsh words, but seriously. And the other side of the coin is it took me a long time to get to the point where I could say to somebody, just grow up, because I had my issues too. Of course, I was in a situation where all of that was being perpetuated, and, I had no relief from any of it until I got divorced and got away from my ex and got away from all of that. And the results of abuse still come back. So if for somebody who's picking on someone who's fat, at that point, and that's where this is a double-edged sword, because, yeah, you don't know what they've been through. You don't know psychologically what they're like and what their recovery, if they've been a victim of abuse, you don't know what stage in their recovery they are. And you don't know if they have PTSD. These things, just for some random person that you meet, you do not know these things. So yeah, you're randomly picking on them for being overweight is wrong too. Especially if it's somebody that you don't talk to, that you haven't had any interaction with, anything like that. And in that case, I turn around and I say again, grow up. So both sides need to grow up here. For somebody who's doing the teasing or being abusive towards somebody who's really fat, then you need to actually get to know that person and find, actually learn who that person is. You may make a friend you didn't know you could have had if you're nice to somebody. And so that you kind of have to take into account. Makes it more of a confusing mess when you deal with somebody that you do know is awful, like our girl, Amber, and, that is abusing the system and is intentionally trying to gain weight and intentionally trying to suicide or whatever it is she's doing. There's so many facets to it, but for one group to just turn around and automatically be the victim for everything needs to grow up, and the other side, who is just trying to troll people and be mean for the sake of being mean, needs to grow up. And so yeah, that's my thoughts on the whole thing. And I'm pretty stable and level-headed now and everything, but I'm going to be 52 in October, so it took me a long time. And even then I have stuff that still actually does legitimately trigger me because, well, I have PTSD. But it's not people's words that do it. They'll upset me, sometimes make me cry, but it's not words that trigger. And for SJWs out there who try to say that words are triggering and stuff, grow up. Yeah, it's mainly, I get triggered if somebody makes any sort of violent movements towards me or something like that, and that's an actual real trigger. And on the other side of the coin is anytime there's criticism, that is not hate. So you need to get past the point, the idea that criticism is hate. No, it's not. It's all these little social factors in there that people act stupid. I mean, that's basically it. So yeah, I'm gonna go in. I have veggies to process for putting in the freezer. I got some Japanese long green beans, and I've got more zucchini to put in the freezer. Not live streaming tonight. Just gonna try and relax before work and get some projects done for my display booth next weekend. So that's about it. I just had to put in my 2 cents. So blessed be everybody. Have a great night.